Multifamily Mindset
podcast. Think bigger. All right, aloha and welcome to the Multifamily Mindset podcast. My name is Tyler Deveraux. Got Jackson, Mother effing Campbell.
That's me.
And we're about to talk about whatever we're going to talk about today, man. But welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks
Jackson?
for listening. Thanks for tuning in. If it's your first time tuning in, get ready for the most amazing podcast you've ever listened to in your entire life.
Put your seatbelt on.
The Multifamily Mindset podcast, Monday through Thursday with Dallas Pruitt. Dropping daily mindset drips. They're incredible episodes. Definitely tune in for those if you have not been tuning in for those. And then Friday, sit down with Tyler, interview him on the Aloha Friday episodes. And then also Tyler's got some really high-level people coming on as well, and we've got some students that are going to be coming down the pipeline as well, having some interviews that have been recorded that we're excited to share with y'all. So definitely tune back in for sure every day, for sure on Fridays to hear those interviews of our students as well. But let's dive in, Ty.
Jackson, what's your favorite part of living in Maui, bro?
The sunshine. That's a quick, easy answer for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the sun, man.
Me too. It's interesting. This is not on topic at all. But I was just out in Indianapolis. Gorgeous, though.
Yeah.
Like, played some golf out there. It was gorgeous, but it was still just a little dark.
Yeah.
And getting back,
So
and same with
funny,
Orlando.
so,
I was in
yeah.
Orlando, too. It's just still just like a little dark.
Yeah.
And then coming out here back home, it's like, it's so bright.
Yeah.
Everything's vibrant. Maui's beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful place. It's funny you mentioned that because when I was in Utah, same thing.
Yeah.
It's October, right? We're kind of coming into fall. It's really starting to get cold, but it's almost like the sun didn't come up all the way. It's like it just came up I felt like all day I was like waiting for it to like really start shining, but it never did, dude. Yeah, very grateful for Maui, the sunshine.
The interesting thing of seasons, right?
Yeah.
See, because in life we have seasons, in real estate we have seasons. Maui has seasons, but Maui you do different seasons. Like it's not just the weather. The weather's perfect every day, but there's well season, there's big wave season.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
different seasons. So my question to you is when you go to Utah, you just got back from Utah, and it's a little bit dark, it's a different season. How does that affect your overall joy?
Dude, I don't know if it affects I noticed that it has an effect on my mood.
Okay.
It definitely has an effect on my mood. And I remember growing up in St. George where it was super sunny, then moving to where northern Utah where it snows and winter, it's cloudy all the time. It definitely had a big effect on me, right? Not letting, I don't know, dude, it's kind of an interesting thing. I did have a little bit of like a seasonal depression type stuff.
Growing up?
Well, no, just once I moved out of the sunshine.
Okay.
Once I moved out of the 365 sunshine of southern Utah to where it wasn't like that all the time, it was just something that I had to adapt to that was different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting. It's kind of interesting you bring that up.
Well, okay, so but now you're going back now.
Yeah.
Did it affect you then?
No, I don't think it necessarily affected me. I noticed it, but it didn't affect my moods like it
why
used
not?
to. I don't know, probably because I knew I was coming back to Maui, the sunshine. I just knew I needed to get through it and I'd be back. But
well, that's it. But and I'm
probably now because I noticed that it's an uncontrollable. I can't control the seasons. I can't control what the weather is.
Yeah.
So because it's uncontrollable, you just ride. You focus on what you can control. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. And I said that this initial conversation wasn't in line with the topic, but it's very much in line with the topic, which is why I keep talking about it.
Yeah, I like it.
Because the multifamily real estate, we have different seasons, right? Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to see how people react in different seasons.
Yeah.
And get knocked off track by a different season. Or literally just get knocked off track by, lots of things that they can't control.
Right.
Because instead of focusing on what they can control, they get so caught up in all this shit that they can't control. COVID was something like that. Mm-hmm. Lots of people getting caught up on things that they could not control, and their life spun out of control.
Yep.
Well, they started to learn temporarily. They started to pivot temporarily, but now all of a sudden, a little disruption, a little change, and what happens? Same shit. People start to focus on what they can't control, and now they pivot, or now they, things start getting out of control. But I want to drill in on one more thing, because you told me why you went to Utah, and it wasn't about you. It was about what?
Checking in on some family, some friends.
You didn't have the option of
worrying about the weather. Yeah.
The fucking weather?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, dude, you were there to spread joy, yes or no?
Yep.
That was your job. That was your duty. Did anybody give it to you?
Did anybody give me? No. No. I felt that need to go do that, go take care of some things. Yeah.
So all y'all listening out there, what do you feel your need is, and what do you need to get taken care of? See, Jackson's going to ask me a couple questions, but the reality of it comes down to this. Focus on controllables, man, in any season that you're in. Quit going down this damn rabbit hole of uncontrollables, because I promise you, the end of that rabbit hole isn't what you're fucking looking for.
Yeah. There is no end to that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You keep digging.
Yeah.
You keep digging
until you dig yourself out.
Yeah, dude.
So what are we talking about today, Jay?
Dude, I love that you brought that up. Thank you for calling that out, and I appreciate that, man, because do those things you feel inspired to do.
Yeah.
For sure. You will never regret those decisions that you make, for sure.
Totally.
For sure. Today we're going to talk about the real estate market, like interest rates in the real estate market.
Yeah.
We're talking about these seasons. We're talking about multifamily real estate always. And the interest rates and the real estate market, dude, it changes often.
Yeah.
And this kind of what you're talking about is people tend to either panic, find solutions in these types of moments. But dude, with interest rates going up, what does that mean for the real estate industry? A wide view.
And a lot of these questions we pull from questions that y'all have asked us, or that we see people ask, just questions that have been asked. And so it's like, what does it mean? Well, I believe, and I like to relate things back to just life, because we understand life better because we live it every day. Well, we should live it every day, right? Go back to what you said. But we live it every day. And we know that when we get caught up in the moment, this exact moment, dude, somebody talks shit to you, somebody says something negative about you, some drama comes into your life. If you get caught up in that, you know me even telling you that, you're like, yeah, I know I need to move past it. Mm-hmm. You get in a fight, you got to move past it. It's because you know that if you continue to magnify that short-term thing, your long-term will be in trouble.
Yeah.
So you have to pivot. Well, it's no different in the multifamily space. Interest rates have went up. Okay, so that's one factor. What do you need to look at? You need to look at not the micro, but the macro. And dude, even when I say macro, I'm still as pretty micro in the whole overall scheme of things.
Yeah.
But the macro is look at the fundamentals of the space. What are the market fundamentals? Like, you have jobs and employment that are still there. You have vacancy. So, dude, there's still definitely, it's supply demand essentially, right? You still have supply demand issues. There's still a lot of need for affordable housing. You have construction starts that have freaking dropped by like 50% since, I want to say, over the last 6 months or something. But vacancy, even though there's been a lot of construction coming down the pipeline, occupancy is still high, vacancy is still low. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden construction starts to halt, which I look at so I'm telling you, I look at the macro view. And the macro view is the demand is still there. The fundamentals are still strong. And when those properties that have already been built, the new construction comes into play, maybe overall, vacancy may increase a little bit, but there's not a lot coming behind it because construction is halted. So you look at the market fundamentals.
Yep.
So what does it mean when I see interest rates rise? Well, it means that you play the strategy that you can play. So you play a long-term game. It means that debt and equity are harder to access, right? Debt is more stringent. Lots of equity sitting on the sidelines. It's harder to access on both sides. So does that mean that you can't make deals pencil out? No, shit. You can definitely still make deals pencil out. But what does it mean to pencil out? See, lots of people that are listening to this have been in the real estate market, been in the commercial market. I know I'm ranting right now.
No, this is beautiful, dude. Yeah. No, go ahead. Keep going.
I've been in the commercial market over the last couple of years where things have been gangbusters. You've been penciling deals out at 18, 19, 20+%, And if it didn't pencil out at that, you weren't interested. We're in a different stage, a different season where are those returns still possible? Yeah, but should you be underwriting at those returns? Nah. You should be underwriting at lower returns, conservative returns. That's what you should be doing. And if it hits conservatively, some of your investors may be like too conservative, but you're being conservative. You got to be absolutely locked in on your strategy, which you should be conservative right now, and play the long game. You're not in it. You're not going to get into these deals for a year or two and refi. No, you're playing a long-term game. So that's a long answer to your question, but
that's a great answer.
Or to the question, but
yeah,
dude, what does it mean for the industry? It means that it's harder to access money and that you need to play the long game. But the market fundamentals are still so strong, dude.
Yeah,
so strong,
dude. It's such a good answer. You did rant a little bit, and I want to come back to one of the things that you said at the very beginning, was that there's always going to be these problems, and the fundamentals are going to stay the same no matter what, right? Those three big things: the supply and demand, the vacancy, the buildings being halted, so there's going to need to be people going into apartments because there's not going to be a ton of new stuff. So it's just so important, dude. I love the analogy that you made at the beginning too. In your life, crazy things pop up. If you get distracted by that, it's going to distract you from what's actually important, what's actually the fundamentals, what's actually that framework, that basis that you make all of the decisions off of. You forget about those things when you're distracted.
When you're distracted.
Yeah, so good.
What's your duty? What's your job? What's your calling? Are you in it for the short term? Mm-hmm. Are you only in it when the sun's out? Because let me tell you, when the sun was out over the last couple years, there's still problems, dude. You want to know what the problems was that all of a sudden everyone forgets about? Massive competition. It was freaking, every deal was best and highest offer.
Yep.
Every deal. Mm-hmm. It was very challenging. There was deals out there, but it was challenging to actually win those deals because the competition was so high.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden the competition is lower. There's actually more deals. It's just a matter of having the deal pencil out. But once again, back then you were only focused on that it was best and highest and that it was the struggle. And now lots of people are just focused on the deal flow. Focus on the solutions, not just the problems.
Yeah.
Magnify the future, not just the present.
Yep. So, I mean, just a good example of this here, Tyler, in multifamily real estate, if your return is going to be conservative, what's maybe some other benefits of multifamily that you want to talk about to help investors understand that it's a great idea to invest in real estate right now?
Love that. Well, first off, just the question in and of itself is a massive one to answer. What are the benefits? If I were to ask you right now as the listener, what are the benefits and why should your investors invest? Do you know? Because you should know.
That's like simple market stuff that you should know.
Simple market stuff.
That's like being in touch with what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. One of my favorite quotes from your 3-day, it's actually a Grandpa Larry quote, and I might mess it up. I hope I don't mess it up. But he said more along about know your business.
Yeah, mind your business.
Mind your business.
Yep.
In every aspect of the way, right? Know exactly what the market's doing.
That's it.
So if your returns aren't going to be great, there's other fantastic ways on why people should invest in real estate. And you should know those things for sure. And
one of those, by the way, is the fundamentals. The fundamentals are strong. So you look at the market fundamentals in the stock market, or dude, it's very risky for people to get into those kind of things and what's going on within just the overall economy. So looking at those things, tax benefits, beautiful. Those have been there for a long time. Actually, the stability of a hard asset, beautiful. Like long-term gains. You need to know what does multifamily bring and then speak to those types of things. I think that a challenge for me when I started to pivot from shorter term holds to longer term holds was speaking to that, because I was like, man, are my investors going to want to, they've been used to 2-3 year holds, whatever. And now I'm going to be talking to them about a 10-year hold. Like, are they going to shit their pants? But do you know what I realized is no. These are accredited investors who, do you know what they want? Growth, protection first.
Dude, that's what I've noticed. That's what I've noticed most. Is working with like real high dollar investors, we're talking into the $500,000 investors, $1 million investors. That's more what they're focused on.
Yep.
Is protection, those tax benefits.
Yep.
And having it be a stable investment for them for a lot of years.
That's it.
They want, like, the bigger investors love the idea of a 7 to 10 year hold because they know their capital is going to be protected for 7 to 10 years, which is an awesome thing.
That's so good, dude. And it's exhausting. So all these things that we're talking about right now are your things. Just so you know, it's exhausting to have to continually be looking for new investments.
So Ty, tell me about that from your side as an investor. Right? You're probably stoked when you get a good return after 2-3 years. But what does that do for you that a lot of people might not realize?
Another job.
Yeah, you got
to now find something new. And listen, that's a good problem to have.
No, you're not complaining.
No.
No.
But it's like it's been funny to see how my mindset has changed as I've grown in the space as I've just grown period wealth-wise, period. Because it's like I don't want to continually be looking for new investments all the time. I want solid investments that are producing me solid returns over the long run. And returns come in a bunch of different ways. Peace of mind is a return, by the way.
Yeah. Dude, for you right now, how big of a return is peace of mind when it comes to investments?
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
Like shit. You tell me that I could potentially get 25%, but there's going to be lots of fucking up and downs. Or I can get 12%, 10%, whatever, stable. Shit, okay, I'm going to go that route. Mm-hmm. Now, I love to be aggressive too. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty aggressive. But I like long-term. Your investors will like long-term. Your investors will like stability. You just need to know why that's powerful and quit selling yourself on the shit that you can't control. Quit selling yourself on the problem and sell yourself in the direction of the solution.
So good.
Right?
So good. Ty, how do you think this is going to pan out with interest rates? Do you think they're going to come down? And what do you think we should do in the meantime?
I definitely think they'll come back down. But the strategy now, in my opinion, so we talk about longer term holds, right? So our debt pieces that we're putting on are longer term debt pieces, 10-year debt. Do I believe that the interest rates are going to stay high for 10 years? No, I do not. I believe the interest rate, I think of the interest rates, here's my prediction. I believe interest rates will start to dip Q3 of 2024. They'll start to dip again. Why? Because it's an election period and that's what happens. But am I doing an investment strategy right now based on that interest rates may dip in Q3 2024? Nay. Because I can't control it.
Right.
What can I control? I can control putting in something, making a deal pencil out and putting in something that gives me multiple exit points. So for example, these longer term debt pieces, 10 years, 7 years, whatever, do I believe interest rates will go down before then? Yes. And then nothing stops me from refinancing at that point.
Right.
Nothing stops me from refining at that point. But let's say rates don't go down. Well, nothing's going to make me have to nothing's kicking me out of that deal either. Nothing's putting it at risk. I have multiple points where I can either refi, I can resell, I can stay. So I'm playing the long run. Do I think they'll go back down? Yep. Because historically, just look at, if you want to know the future, look at the past. Mm-hmm. You want to get an idea of the future, look at trends of the past. This is not a new trend we're in. So many of you lived through 08, 09, or I'll just say market corrections. And how many of you were like, man, I wish I would have bought a property in 08, 09? All of y'all. 2000, all of y'all. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, people, listen here, people will tell you that, they want the best return. Do you know what people really want? Is peace of mind. But do you know where they seek it? They seek peace of mind in a herd mentality. Let me explain what I mean by that.
Yeah, say that one more time.
They seek peace of mind with a herd mentality, meaning right now the herd is on the sidelines because they heard something on the fucking news.
Ooh, look at that.
Woo! Wordplay.
Play on words.
But they know that there are opportunities for growth in the investment space. But they would rather be part of the herd who lose out on the opportunities than to be the one who actually goes with what they know with just logic to take advantage of the opportunities. Because if they're part of the herd, it's almost like the responsibility is off their shoulders. It's like, well, man,
It's what everybody thought.
yeah.
It's what I was told.
Same thing a couple years ago when the market's going gangbusters and everything's flooding in, so much money's flooding in. We know logically that that's not going to last forever. But we see the herd flowing in, so we dive in full force, which means when it does dip, well, it's like, well, it's what everybody's doing. They really just want to be part of the herd. I don't. I just don't. I want to be part of whatever, well, I want to be part of the successful herd.
Yeah.
Which is usually a smaller herd.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because that herd is actually willing to look at the facts, do things that are uncomfortable, understand that there may be a kickback, understand that people may call them crazy, understand that they may look outside of the societal norm, and understand that that's beautiful. That's what I want to be part of.
Ty, I'm going to pivot a little bit here just because I have a question that I want to ask you as we wrap up. This is going to be our final question. How do we help our investors? How do we apply that principle of herd mentality when we're talking to our investors?
How do you apply the principle of herd mentality when I think it's the same thing that I would literally say the same thing. You have to be.
So how would you do that with an investor, rather?
Because I can say it convincingly because I actually look at stuff.
Right.
See, you could go say if you haven't researched and looked at the same things that I've researched, you could say the same verbatim, the same vernacular that I just said, but it won't resonate, dude. Because you're regurgitating something that somebody else said instead of like really like knowing why you're doing what you're doing. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you're confident. And when you're confident, other people also feel confident. Like,
so good.
When I go and I go out to a networking event or whatever and I don't drink. I don't drink for reasons that I'm very aware of that I don't drink.
Yeah.
And I'm very confident. And then the kickbacks would be like, well, what do you mean not even one or not even a little bit, or you're like, what? Those are I don't blame them for I don't give a shit that they say that.
Right.
I have been in that same position where I have said that same shit to other people.
Right.
But I know why I don't do it. I know why I don't do it.
Right.
I don't need them to know. But what's interesting is by me knowing, well, now they know.
Exactly.
By me knowing, now they know. So what you need to do, to answer this question, in my opinion, you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Just look up the details. Remove any of this news and bullshit and just look at the details. Speak to the details and be confident in the direction that you're going in your life, in your investments, in the whatever. People will feel that.
Mm-hmm.
They feel what they feel your intentions. They feel your energy far more than they hear whatever it is you're saying.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. What I got from you, it reminded me of a quote that I heard this past week too, that confidence turns into certainty.
Okay.
Confidence is like the ability to be able to take action on an idea and like a feeling on an inspiration, right? That's confidence. You're confidently taking action. Certainty is that belief that's instilled due to taking action on that thing that you were so confident about.
I like it, bro. You want to know why I like it? Because the confidence, make sure I'm restating this right. Confidence gives you the ability to take action, and the actions create the certainty.
Exactly.
Okay. The reason I love that so much, dude, the reason I love that is because those actions that you take, that doesn't mean that those actions bear a positive result.
Right.
But actions
bear a result.
Bear a result.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that result is something that you can, build upon, whether it's a good result, or build upon even if it's a bad result, because you learn from.
Right.
But the person who is stuck in inaction, they're so uncertain because they continually focus on things that they can't control. They ask the wrong questions, which means their uncertainty continues to increase. But as you just take actions, you realize that you can't control the outcome, but you can certainly control the actions, meaning you can't control the outcome in the long term, but you can control the actions that you're taking in the short term to make sure that the outcome becomes far more likely.
Right.
And what's going to make the outcome likely and really, honestly, inevitable is to continue to take actions, to not give up, to continue to move forward and learning with every single action you take. That's what makes you certain, man. I love that is awesome.
Dude, and helping your investors understand that, helping yourself understand that through multifamily, through doing these deals, and the market rates do go up and down, and that is a scary thing for a lot of people, dude. There's a lot of money, and a lot of people have a lot of money in these deals. So when the market starts doing this, they're not very confident. They do get a little bit worried, but take action, move forward, and gain certainty on that confidence that you tout around, that you're doing with your talking with your investors, that you have when you're looking at deals. You have all this confidence that it's going to be a good deal. Go put that confidence to action and create certainty for sure.
And I just want to drill home, because that doesn't mean that there's not going to be challenges. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be failures. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be, just challenges. Mm-hmm. In fact, I will tell you that actions, even though they breed certainty, they also breed challenges. I would just rather bank on the challenges of action than the challenges of inaction. Because challenges of inaction will F you up mentally.
Dude, and inaction in its own sense is an action.
Yeah.
Doing nothing is doing something.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I love that perspective.
Yeah. It's
So understand, when I say this, like, there's many challenges. And sometimes you'll see me or us or you in a challenge in the short term and be like, oh, shit. Look at that dude. He said to take action. Now he's in a challenge. But what you don't know, I'm built for that shit. But what you may not know is that you're also built for that shit. As long as you choose to be, as long as you show up in a season, knowing that you've took on that duty of my job is to continue forward and to help other people do the same thing. And then guess what, man? You'll see that as you continue to point fingers and be like, look at that motherfucker going through challenges. Yeah. My challenges that I'm going through, or anybody's challenges that are going through, you would love those challenges if you would be privileged enough to have them. And then in 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, when you're still sitting on the sidelines pointing fingers and everybody else is leapfrogging your fucking ass, keep pointing fingers, man. Yeah. Bring challenges any day, because I know that I can handle them, and I also know that I have a team of people that can handle them. I also know you can handle them, though. But the key is you actually have to do something and be willing to put yourself in that uncomfortable situation so that you can have certainty that you can do those things too.
So good. Tyler, as we wrap up today, so many good things we talked about. And I love, you went on a couple really powerful, good rants, dude. I'm very grateful for that. As we wrap up here today, dude, a Hawaiian value to apply to everything that we've talked about today.
Ho'omau, man. Ho'omau. Ho'omau is endurance, it's resilience, it's perseverance, it's steadiness, dude. Like, resilience is your ability to be knocked off baseline, aka experience a challenge, and get back to baseline. But the key with this is when you do that, you get knocked off baseline and make it back to baseline. Anybody who has done that consistently in their life realizes that the baseline has shifted. Your baseline is no longer the same baseline. Your baseline has shifted, meaning you have grown. That's resilience. That's ho'omau. Ho'o means to be or do, and mau means always, constant, steady. Always constant, steady. Not just when it's sunny, not just when the weather is beautiful, but even more especially when the weather is frightful, when it's dark, when it's like the sun didn't quite come up. Your job is to make sure that you ho'omau endure until the sun comes up, because guess what? The sun will come up. It will continue to shine as long as you ho'omau. And there's a tree out here called the ohia tree, and we've done I've done some trainings on the ohia tree. And the ohia tree is resilient, man. Like, it grows everywhere, no matter what. It grows everywhere, no matter what. Like, it is, not only does it grow, it gets stronger from challenges. Like, the leaves, the trunks, the branches, the blossoms adapt and survive no matter the outside condition. No matter the outside. Toxic gas Well, leaves, learn to close their pores so that the gas doesn't get in. Lava tubes beneath, which is, it'll grow. Like, think about how destructive lava can be. Well, it will grow there still. Why? Because the roots will just continue digging until it finds some ground, and then it'll sprout. That's why you see these, red, beautiful blossoms in some freaking lava field. That's the ohia tree. Strong winds, the trunks just grow thicker. Leaves adapt in size. No matter the external problem, the ohia creates a solution. No matter the external problem, the ohia creates a solution. The only thing that can take down an ohia tree is the ohia tree itself. It's a toxic thing. Inside of itself is the only thing that can take it down. The only thing that can take you down is yourself, man. That's it. So the ultimate lesson, ho'omau. When we ho'omau, we create solutions to solve problems. We focus on the controllables, and we become even stronger along the process, and we realize that the process is what we're in it for. Ho'omau.
So good.
Anything you want to add to that?
I don't think so. I think you covered it pretty good, but it just comes back to the very beginning of the episode. What are we going to do with these interest rates? You're going to stick to the fundamentals and stay true to what it is you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're going to continue to move forward. You're going to continue to have the endurance, the resilience, the perseverance, and the steadiness that you need.
Yeah.
To stick to those fundamentals.
That's it.
And know those fundamentals aren't changing.
Yeah, that's it. The strategy will change.
Sure.
But the fundamentals are the fundamentals.
And how you apply those fundamentals may change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, dude. Great Hawaiian value to wrap up this episode.
So y'all, man, go ho'omau. Go ho'omau. Quit focusing on uncontrollables. Quit allowing those uncontrollables to make you uncertain, and instead, dude, ho'omau. Focus on the controllables. Take the actions necessary. Become certain in your ability to weather any storm. And then, man, along the way, share this episode, because I'm sure that'll give you some good grace. And then live always with aloha. Peace. Multifamily Mindset Podcast. Think bigger.